Hey friend, welcome back to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. We're wrapping up our Anchored in Every Area series with a topic that can completely transform the way you live: personal development. We've talked before about why it matters, but today we're talking about the how. How do you actually invest in your own growth in practical, realistic ways, whether you have money to spend or not? Here's the truth, friend. If you're not intentionally growing, you're unintentionally drifting. And I want you to know that you and I were made for so much more than drifting. Let's dive in. Okay, first let's talk about why personal development matters. Personal growth is stewardship, managing your mind, body, skills, and spirit that God has given you so that you can make the most impact for his kingdom. Luke 2:52 says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." If even Jesus modeled growth in every area, we should do it too. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And I love that one. I love that we are being challenged. Renew your mind. Don't conform to what everybody else is doing. Renew your mind. I think that is just so strong. So today I want to share with you 10 simple, practical strategies to invest in your personal growth and development. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 1, read and listen daily. Why does this matter? The average American spends more than 2 hours a day on social media, but less than 20 minutes of reading or learning. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. We're going to shift just like a fraction of this time so that we're focusing on intentional content to help change your mindset and your outlook. So think about when you're scrolling social, you might be seeing some inspirational things. That's awesome. You might be learning a little bit. Great. But you're also distracted. You're also looking at things mindlessly and doom scrolling. I'm guilty of it too, friend. Like, I'm working on it. But what are some ways that we can maybe take a little less time from the doom scrolling and investing intentionally in our personal growth? Well, here's a habit you can get into. First of all, you got to pick a book that you want to read. And if you're looking for book recommendations, shoot me a message because I love to recommend personal development books. I've got a whole bookshelf full of them, actually more than one bookshelf. But spend some time, like just take 10 to 15 minutes each morning to read a personal development book. It's incredible. You can get a couple of chapters read and finish a book in less than 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but I love reading. I read all of the time. I finish multiple books a week. Like, I am like a reading junkie, and that includes fiction and nonfiction. I'll share that oftentimes I will read probably 1 to 2 fiction books a week, sometimes more than that. And I read in different pockets of time. So I like to read when I'm eating my breakfast or lunch because most of the times I'm eating those meals alone. I like to read in the bathtub. Like, do I have lots of time for just sitting and relaxing and reading? No, but those are some ways that I get reading in. But when I'm talking about reading personal development books, those are times that I set aside time intentionally. So that is like some of my morning devotional time. Sometimes I will either add in 10 minutes there or take 10 minutes from somewhere else so that I can get some personal development book reading in. And here's another way to do this. So you can keep a book in your bag or on, like, I love to use the Hoopla app, which depends on what library you have, but Hoopla is a free app that lots of libraries use. And I get 15 book downloads a month for free. So you can check with your local library to see what you can get. But just by having these apps on your phone, if you're waiting in line somewhere or you're waiting at a doctor's office, because those are never on time, rather than doom scrolling during that time, you can use that time productively and intentionally and read a personal development book. You can also do this in the car line. So I know a lot of people drive for school pickup and drop off. So rather than doom scrolling, spend that 15 minutes. You can get through a couple of chapters. And another idea here is listen to a book instead of reading if you're not a reader. So I sometimes like to do audiobooks and podcasts as well. Okay, if you're listening to this podcast, you might be someone who enjoys multiple podcasts. And this is a great way that you can dive into different subjects. So, all you have to do is search in the podcast search bar in your favorite podcast platform for the topic you want. And you can get some nice bite sized chunks of wisdom, encouragement, and lessons by listening to different podcasts. Okay, let's take it to number 2. This is attend conferences and workshops. So why does this matter? Immersing yourself in a growth environment accelerates learning and sparks motivation. I have to tell you that some of my favorite life experiences have been at different conferences. I love a good conference. The energy there is just something you can't replicate in most places. When you've got hundreds or thousands of people all there excited about growing and moving forward and getting better, there is just something so special about that. So, how can you do this? Well, here's what I would recommend. Take a look at some conferences that would interest you, whether you're looking for a conference about your faith or personal growth, or maybe there's an influencer that you love that's speaking at a conference. Spend some research and look for them. Now, if a conference is maybe a little out of your price range or budget, and maybe your job doesn't cover a conference for you, then try and attend a workshop. There are great skills workshops all over. A lot of community colleges have them for inexpensively, like $75. There's online workshops that you can attend. Sometimes those are free, sometimes those have a small cost attributed to them. But I highly recommend getting yourself at least like once a year. It just will motivate you and encourage you in a way that nothing else can. Now, when you're there, let's talk about what we're going to be doing. So, absolutely take notes. Oh my gosh. I have a tote in the basement right now that is full of old conference notebooks, like where I just took note after note after note. One year, my conference pen completely ran out of ink, and I had to get another pen because I had taken so many notes. But then it's not just about the note taking. Then you have to go back and highlight the action steps you want to take and what you're going to implement right away to start moving the needle. And then here's the next thing we're going to do at a conference. We're going to network intentionally. You're going to focus on meeting at least 3 new people that you feel a connection with, that inspire you, that make you want to do better, and that feel like your people. Now, this means intentional networking. So it's not like, speed dating or anything like that. You have to get yourself out there and you can't just go back to your hotel room. But once you've at least met those 3 people, then friend, you've got that permission. Go back to your hotel room, get comfy, and relax and take a peek at those notes from earlier. Okay, number 3, take online courses. Oh my gosh, I love online courses. I've taken so many of them. Why do these matter? Well, targeted courses let you develop the skills that directly impact your calling, career, or ministry. So I'll share with you that before I started this podcast, I took an online course on how to create and start and launch a podcast. And that gave me the skills, showed me the tools I needed. It gave me the structure and the format and the systems, and all of that gave me the confidence to plug in this mic, get on here, and share with you. So, whatever interest you've got, or whatever it is you want to do or get better at, I can't recommend enough taking an online course. So how do you do this? Well, there's various online platforms where you can learn. There's Skillshare, there's Coursera. You can also go to YouTube. And here's what I'll share about that. You can find so many free trainings on YouTube. So if this is out of your budget, because some online courses can be a little bit pricey, before you invest the money, do your research on YouTube. See what you can learn for free. Constantly looking on YouTube for how to do different things and how to expand my skill set on certain things. Okay, let's talk about number 4. Join a mastermind or a small group. This is something I'm so passionate about. So, friend, this is so important because growth is faster with community. You need people cheering you on, challenging you, and holding you accountable. So, how do you do this? So, you can join a group in your industry, ministry, or interest area. Like when you're finding these groups, you want to be looking for a balance of support and accountability. It's not just a feel good group. It's not like, yay, look at us. It's actually, okay, who has ideas for this? I'm a part of a collaboration group right now, and it's so helpful because I've met so many great women from there. We're helping each other and expanding our skill sets, giving each other ideas, and then collaborating, whether it's guest podcast hosts or guest blogging or featuring somebody on our emails. It's been great because it's support, accountability, and collaboration, which is incredible. Now, when you're in one of these, the key is to show up consistently and be a contributor. This growth really happens when you engage. Okay, are you ready? Number 5, we're about halfway there. This one is find a mentor or a coach. Why does this matter? Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for a lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. So, friend, mentors provide wisdom, perspective, and shortcuts learned from experience. So, how do you do this? Well, if you're not sure, you can first start looking for a coach if you don't have someone in your life already. For a coach, you might want to do your research and see what kind of coach you're looking for. Are you looking for a business coach, a life coach, a fitness coach? What are you looking for? And you want to be clear what you want to learn from them too. So when you're talking to them to see if it's a right fit, ask them some questions. Be clear on what it is you're looking for. And if you're not sure, they might be able to help you pinpoint it down. So I have a coach that I've been coaching with for about 2 years now. And I can tell you this has tremendously accelerated my personal growth. The podcast probably wouldn't be started by now if I didn't have this coach. The Faith Journal would not have been done when it was done and relaunched if it weren't for my coach. I wouldn't have become a certified life coach if it weren't for my coach. So, Kimberly, shout out if you're listening. Thank you for everything you have done for me over the past 2 years. It has been quite the journey, and I am so grateful. And if you're looking for a coach, feel free to shoot me a message and we can set up an Anchored Insights discussion to see if this would be the right fit for you. Okay, number 6, practice skill stacking. So, why does this matter? The most impactful people aren't just experts in one thing, they combine skills that amplify each other. So, for example, these are ones that I'm working on together. So, you're going to identify 2 to 3 skills together that make you more valuable. So, for me, it is public speaking, writing, and podcasting, social media, that kind of thing. So you want to take those skills and spend time improving them each and every month. So how do you do this? So my big dream is to become a full-time keynote public speaker. I want to be leading workshops. I want to be speaking at conferences on big stages. So how to improve these skills? Well, one of the things that I did was I started going to Toastmasters, and that was where I could sharpen the saw, get some feedback on my speaking, get some practice in there. And that really built up my confidence with speaking and just got me in the habit of getting in front of people in person. Now, here is another way you can do this too, is looking for volunteer or work opportunities to practice these in combination. So this happened with me. I'm so grateful. Like, how cool that this is what I get to do for my day job too, is I get to do some public speaking, both through podcasting, workshop hosting, and also now through some in-person speaking events. So if there is a skill that you've got that you really want to work on, find some different ways that you can do this. And if it's not in your current job, are there things outside of it that you can do? Are there some volunteer opportunities or some ways that you can practice those skills in ministry or in your church to help sharpen those? Okay. Number 7, serve in new roles. Why does this matter? Service often stretches you into skills you didn't even know you had. So, how do you do this? Volunteer for a project that feels slightly outside of your comfort zone. We know that growth happens outside of the comfort zone, so this is where we want to be spending some time. Say yes to leadership roles in your church, school, or community group, and ask for feedback after serving. The growth can be in the reflection too. I can't say enough about getting feedback after you have served or you've done something, and ask for real feedback too. Sometimes people might just be nice, but say, okay, what could I improve upon there? And it makes a difference when you find out what you can improve upon and then actually take the time to filter through first that feedback. Okay, how does that resonate with me? If that sounds like, yes, I absolutely agree, then you put that into place and you take action on it. Okay, we're getting closer to the end here. Number 8, schedule growth time. Why does this matter? Well, Stephen Covey's Sharpen the Saw habit reminds us that renewal doesn't happen by accident. So, how do you do this? You're going to block out 30 to 60 minutes each week just for your growth activities. And you're going to schedule it on your calendar like an important meeting. You are going to protect that time so that you get that time for yourself. And what are you doing during this time? Well, this is where you're doing some of these things we've talked about already. So whether you're reading, you're reviewing your goals, or you're taking that online course, this is going to give you that time to help you with that personal development. So for example, if it's taking an online course, some courses, if you spend, some of them will have like 6 modules. And if you complete 1 module a week, then you're getting the whole course done in 6 weeks. So by scheduling that time on your calendar each week to complete the coursework, in 6 weeks, you're going to have everything done and be able to implement it. And that's how you take something like an online course that might look a little bit scary in the beginning on, oh gosh, how am I ever going to fit this in and get it done? You're going to just schedule that time in and use it. It's as simple as that. Okay. Number 9, accountability partner. Why does this matter? It gives you someone to grow with. Now, this is a little bit different than what we were talking about earlier with a group, like with a mastermind or with a small group. This is that one person that this is your person. You are texting her. You are saying, hey friend, listen, this is the goal. Here's how I'm progressing. And she's going to be texting you, hey, how are you doing? You said you were going to take 30 minutes yesterday to get this thing done. How did it go? And she's going to hold you accountable to it. I can't say enough about having an accountability partner. I've had multiple over the years in different seasons of my life. And I can tell you my accountability partners have helped me through promotions, reaching big goals, making myself better, landing new jobs. Like, it's just incredible what the right accountability partner can do for you. So how do you do this? How do you find one? Well, first, you're going to ask a friend. Like, think about the friends you've got that their goals align so much with yours. Or maybe it's just someone you've got a great vibe with, and you know that if you ask her, she's going to hold you accountable. And if you don't have a friend like this is where you can ask in different communities that you're in. There are some great online communities. So for example, if you're in our Anchored with Purpose tribe, on Facebook, you could ask in there for an accountability partner. There's dozens of great women in there for you to connect with. You can also ask in your church or your small group that you're already dialed into to see if someone there would like to be your accountability partner. And here's the key to this. You're also holding her accountable. You're helping her achieve her goals. You're cheering her on too. This isn't just a one-way street. We are at the end. Number 10, reflect and apply. Why does this matter? Well, information without application does not lead to transformation. You need to actually put in the work. You need to do the reps. You need to do the thing to see the transformation. So how can you do this? First, you're going to, like we already mentioned, schedule the time, do the thing, but then you can share your insights, what you've learned, what you've done, what you've accomplished, how you've grown with your accountability partner, with your small group, with your mastermind. You can keep a growth journal and write down what you've learned and how you'll apply it. You can also review this quarterly so you can see patterns and celebrate your progress. So, here is my challenge for you. I'm going to ask you to pick just one of these strategies, just one, and commit to it for the next 30 days. Schedule it, plan it, and tell someone so you've got accountability. And if you need to, tell me which one you're going to do. I would love to hear it. So post it in your stories and tag me in it, or shoot me a message. I would love to hear how you're going to focus on your personal development. I cannot believe now that we are at the end of this Anchored in Every Area series. We made it through all 10 life anchors this summer, and I'm so grateful that you have been walking this walk and taking this journey with me. Friend, I know that God has placed some incredible potential within you. This is like personal development. This is how you draw it out and put his work into his glory. And I'm just going to give you this. Philippians 1:6 reminds us, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Your job is to keep showing up, not perfectly, but consistently. Until next time, friend, stay anchored with purpose.